What would it really take to raise a Minecraft Mooshroom in the real world? No mods, no spawn eggs, just a strange spore egg, living mushrooms, and a creature that can grow an entire biome around it. From a tiny red calf covered in mushrooms to a massive walking forest of fungi, every step spreads life in unexpected ways. Because with a Mooshroom, nature doesn't just grow, it spreads everywhere. The needles shouldn't spin like that, unless something powerful is nearby. Right now, I'm drifting through a swamp that shouldn't even exist. The fog is thick, glowing, and it smells like something here is rotting. Suddenly, the boat bumps into something soft. The fog slowly parts, revealing what's left of an ancient place. A ruined mushroom island, long forgotten. And something toxic is slowly consuming it. The ground feels strange under my boots, like the soil itself is dying. But then I notice something strange. A glowing trail of red spores leading into a cave. Inside, the air gets hotter and more toxic. And right in the center, there it is, a massive spore egg, covered in mushroom scales, and somehow it's still alive. Then the acid pools start bubbling. That's when the cave spiders appear. Dozens of them, dripping venom. No time to think. I grab the egg. It's hot and it's beating like a heart. I throw an ender pearl toward the boat and teleport out before the spiders reach me. I grab the oars and disappear back into the fog. Back home, things get a little weird. I spread wet soil across my kitchen floor and add bone meal to create a nutrient base. Then I place the spore egg in the center. At first, nothing happens. Then the egg starts expanding. Not cracking, just inflating. And suddenly, poof! A cloud of glowing spores fills the room. When the dust settles, I'm staring at the cutest thing imaginable. A tiny red Mooshroom calf. And it looks right at me and moos. The tiny calf takes its very first step, and the moment its hoof touches the tile, the floor transforms. Purple mycelium spreads across my kitchen like magic. In seconds, my kitchen becomes a mushroom biome. Then the little calf curls up next to my foot and falls asleep. The next morning, someone is very hungry. Normal hay? Not interesting. He spits it out immediately. Clearly, this creature needs something stronger.
Snip, snip. Oh, no.
So I grab a block of redstone
Absolutely not. Get it away from me. Blee.
and a golden carrot. Let's see if this works.
What in the mushroom fields was that?
I think I know what to do.
First, the golden carrot disappears in one bite.
Wow.
Then he licks the glowing redstone dust.
Legendary golden carrot.
Immediately, his eyes ignite with golden light, and then boom! In a single second, the tiny calf becomes enormous. I jump back in pure shock and accidentally scratch my arm. The giant Mooshroom notices instantly.
God, that
She
burns.
breathes out a cloud of glowing spores,
I can't.
and the wound heals right before my eyes. Okay, that's officially a walking healing machine. But there's one big problem.
No way. No way.
She's way too big for my house, and everywhere she walks, giant mushrooms start growing. So I try something. All right, give me soup. The giant cow rumbles happily, and suddenly my bowl fills with glowing stew. One bite, and I start floating. Yeah, this changes everything. If she's staying here, she needs a proper habitat. So I rent an excavator and start digging under the backyard. Soon the pit becomes enormous.
I'm floating.
Then I install fog generators and rows of ultraviolet lights. Finally, the cave starts to glow. Now, this place looks like a neon mushroom cavern. Time for the grand opening. The giant Mooshroom slowly walks inside. She takes a deep breath of the cool mist. The mushrooms on her back glow brighter. Then she flops down in the center. Perfect home. That night, something feels wrong. From the forest, a thick green fog begins to roll in. Where it touches the grass, everything dies instantly. Inside the grotto, the Mooshroom lets out a deep warning roar. Then shapes begin to appear in the fog. Witches and giant cave spiders. A potion smashes into the glass dome, and the glass starts melting.
My sisters.
The Mooshroom bursts out of the grotto to protect me.
Let the purple.
She shields me from a storm of poison potions. But the mushrooms on her back start losing their glow.
Giant beast charges up the ramp. No, don't just
Suddenly,
stand
a giant spider jumps straight at me.
there. Be brave, my shield.
The Mooshroom slams it out of the air with a brutal headbutt. But then I step into a pool of acid. My vision turns green and I collapse.
I can't breathe.
That's when the ground explodes.
Help me.
A colossal spider queen rises from beneath the earth. Just when things look hopeless, the sky cracks open. A massive purple portal tears through the clouds. Out of it flies the Ender Dragon and the Wither. Then something even heavier lands behind them. The Warden, the Sniffer, and a tiny pink axolot. The Wither unleashes a storm of blue skulls. The dragon burns through the witches. The Sniffer summons massive roots from the ground. They wrap around the giant spider queen. Then the Warden charges up and releases a devastating sonic boom. The shockwave shatters the frozen battlefield. The mushrooms ignite again, brighter than ever.
The red shockwave expands.
The Mooshroom
swallowing
rises
the
on her
entire
hind
toxic
legs
battlefield in a flash.
and unleashes a massive explosion of healing spores. The red wave spreads across the entire battlefield. The poison disappears instantly, and giant mushrooms rise from the ground. The toxic army simply dissolves in the light. Our allies nod and return through the portal.